Renters Reform Bill. So here's what it means to you as a renter or a landlord. Let me just go through a couple of key bits in this Renters Reform Bill because there's been a lot of news about this one. So we're going to start off with, firstly, the end of fixed term tenancies. So normally when a landlord grants a tenancy to a tenant, it's for a period of 6 months, 12 months, 24 months, whatever. The Renters Reform Bill is going to put an end to that. So it's an ongoing tenancy and the tenant just has the right to give 2 months notice at pretty much any time. This is a big problem for landlords who like to plan their tenancies. I, for one, like to plan tenancies to come up in the summertime because I know that a lot of people are looking in the summer and I'll be able to fill the property a lot quicker. In fact, I do that every year and I've never had a void period in the last 20 years, so it works well for me. But the Renters Reform Bill put an end to that, which I'm not in favor of, really. And secondly, they're going to abolish Section 21. So Section 21 is a notice from the landlord to the tenant to end the tenancy. So it's normally 2 months notice, whereby if the landlord wants the property back, they don't have to give a reason or whatever, it's just 2 months notice. Now, there's a bit of a problem with that in that if the landlord can't give a no-fault notice, as in they just want the property back, they want to live there or whatever, they need to apply to the court for a Section 8 notice. Now that's a problem because that implies that the tenant has done something naughty, i.e. not paid the rent, not treated the property properly, they're causing antisocial behavior, or they're causing a nuisance, whatever. So it's a bit more laborious for the landlord to get the property back. Say, for example, if they want to sell it, it just creates a lot of problems and a lot more friction into the exit of a tenancy from the landlord side. The other thing that the Renters Reform Bill looks to end is rent increases in the tenancy agreement. Now, there is already something in statute whereby the landlord can increase the rent once per annum. It's called Section 13 notice, but you can also do it via the tenancy agreement. So the tenancy agreement will allow a marginal increase of 5% above whatever, insert clause here. You can write whatever you want, basically, and it's down to the tenant to go to a rent review tribunal and dispute it if it's like an unfair rent or whatever. In practice, that never really happens because guess what? Market rent dictates that, rent only goes one way, really. It goes up and up and up and up. It's just a method to take away an instrument from the landlord. So the only instrument they can use to increase the rent is a Section 13 notice. And the third thing that the Renters Reform Bill discusses is pets. So tenants will automatically have the right to request permission for a pet. Well, they have the right to request permission, but they have the right to have that granted. Now, there are exceptions to this, of course, because sometimes pets are prohibited in leasehold flats, for example. There's quite often cases where in the head lease it says that no pets are allowed. And then, of course, pets are not allowed, quite simply because the superior landlord, i.e. the freeholder, prohibits that. But for all intents and purposes, if you are renting and this Renters Reform Bill goes through, then you have the right to request a pet and this right has to be granted. So happy days if you're a dog owner. Just pick up after your dog and all that. There's a few other bits and pieces that are included in the Renters Reform Bill, which I won't discuss now, but those are the three main things that are of vast importance to you as a tenant and as a landlord. So I hope you found that useful. Follow me for more tips.